We are going to start with Myst today. My uncle actually used to have this game when I was a kid on his computer. When I would visit, I would try it out, and he would let me, but he was always like, I don't think you're going to enjoy it because it was a little over my age range of what was possible for me. Oh, okay. I have no idea what this game is about. I don't remember anything about it.
I realized the moment I fell into the fissure that the book would not be destroyed as I had planned. It continued falling into that starry expanse of which I had only a fleeting glimpse. I've tried to speculate where it might have landed, but I must admit that such conjecture is futile. Still, questions about whose hands might one day hold my Myst book are unsettling to me. I know my apprehensions might never be allayed, and so I close, realizing that perhaps the ending has not yet been written.
Man, this is sensitive. Am I supposed to do something? Okay. Don't know what, if anything, that did. Walking, running. I'm not entirely sure what the controls are here. I pressed a bunch of buttons just to get that to move. Okay, it seems like it's A. Well, that looks ominous. Alright, looks like maybe a time machine? Whoa. Very nice. I think I'm gonna try mouse and keyboard here. It doesn't seem like push interact. I have called this age Channelwood, and it is a very different world, though it is exactly how I imagined it. It is still amazing to see with my own eyes. Water covers this age as far as I can see, except for a small rocky island. Elsewhere, there are only trees which grow directly out of the water. A myriad of thin wooden passageways are built just above the water and disappear into the forest. I assume they were built some time ago, and they appear aged. I am eager to discover more about this land and its people, but I have arrived here late and I must rest. I was awakened this morning by strange noises coming from a pathway adjacent to the one on which I slept. I saw a group of monkey-like people heading in my directions. They had not seen me yet. I did not feel threatened by their presence. Their response to me was one that I would never have expected. After staring at me for a short time, they fell to their knees and began to appear with some sort of ceremonial worship. I tried to speak to them, but they did not understand my language. Instead, they indicated through enthusiastic hand motions that I was to follow them. As we walked, I began to notice that the waters below us were changing color. Slowly, subtly, they would change from deep blue to muddy orange, then from muddy orange to beautifully clear. I was so intrigued by the water, I hardly noticed that we had arrived at a ladder. Climbing the ladder led us to their village, which is about 10 meters above the water and can only be reached by rope ladders that stretch from the lower paths to the village level approximately halfway up. The grand trees, it is very interesting watching these people carry out their daily tasks. Even after watching them for hours, I did not understand exactly what they were doing. At sunset, they motioned for me to follow them. I followed the creatures to the doorway of the enormous hut. Strangely, once inside, I found that the hut appeared even larger than it had from the outside. The walls were garnished with bright metals, and in the center of the hut sat the leader of these people. At least he appeared to be their leader, for he sat a meter off the floor on a thick throne. Guards surrounded the strong creature, who was dressed in many exotic, colorful fabrics. Next to the leader sat a very old human, at least to some extent he appears human. His hair, which was only on his face and head, was completely gray, mostly white, and hung very long around his frail body. His thin head hung limply by an almost grotesque neck that could not hold its head up to look at me. But what a surprise, this creature could speak my language. Shortly thereafter, I was given a bed with some motions that looked to be telling me to go to sleep. I look forward to learning more. Wow. This is a whole book. Okay. Alright, we're gonna leave that. Alright, so all of these are sizable reads. Is that what's required? Do I need to know the contents of these books, I wonder? Ow. Okay. Is this interactable? Doesn't appear so. More books? Okay.
Serious? Stop. Will. A seal? He was knocking on. They help me. Bring me pages. Forever and ever.
I can only understand like every other word he's saying.
Have the blue pages. To me.
Okay. Does it repeat if I open it again?
Serious?
Yes. Okay. My fear is that I'm gonna... let's see. This is some sort of map. What is that? It's flashing. Okay. Looks like it's got some sort of dial. When it gets to a certain point, I do believe those are where those handles are. That sounded like something opened. Let's go see. Can I not? Okay. Alright, I didn't hear anything that time. What about here? There's 3 of those handles, though. Is this interactable? We don't know who this is. Fit. Looks like VE something. Packed my bags last night. Pre-flight. Alright, so there's more handles than that thing was pointing to, so I don't think it is indicating anything to do with the handles. Alright, so I can press the button but nothing happens. If I push that and then I press the button, does anything happen? No, it doesn't appear so. Can I? No, I cannot jump into the water. We're learning. Slowly but surely, we're learning. More and more. More buttons? Okay. Okay. My guess is all of those do some sort of thing like that. Another handle. Another building. Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all. An electricity room. Bunch of buttons. Lock myself in here. Okay. 10, 11, 18, 20, 28, 50, and we're going back down to nothing. Over on the left side, here, we're up to 85, 90, 99. My guess is there's some sort of order to use to put those in and to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So top to bottom. All right. Power and power to ship. So this is the power and this is the power to ship. And it looks like it just goes vertically. So what if I try... Does that do anything? This isn't moving at all now. And it made a different sound this time. So if I do it again the way I did it the first time, it sounds like it's shorting out or something. It's not doing the same thing it did the first time. So let's see. If I go back to the ship, is there like a reset? Still not ominous at all. Super inviting. Really want to go back under. Okay. A tree that grows out of the center of the earth. And a shrine around it to worship the tree from the center of the earth. Another puzzle. Press the button. Turn the knob. Okay. Press the button. Nothing. Things still work though. Alright, I have a feeling in order to get to the bottom of these things, I'm gonna have to do a lot of reading. That looks like an entrance to something. That I didn't see before. Button. What did I say? Alright. I don't understand why there are buttons to close all the doors. I wonder if that's a requirement. I found the Fountain of Youth. Topographical extrusion test 40. Marker switch diagram 47. Water turbulent pool 67. All right. Okay, it stopped. It's very pretty. All right, now if I set this to 40, what happens? I got a beep. Topographical extrusion test. Maybe the mountain I'm on? Marker switch diagram. Wait, I didn't even look at the number. 47. I was saying that this is the game that I started. I started playing this at my uncle's house when I was a kid, and my uncle said, "Yeah, you can go at it, give it a shot." And I had no idea what I was doing, and I figured with the re-release, maybe I can figure it out now that I'm a grown-up and have more brain cells, but I'm now wondering if that's the case. So we're giving it a shot. I am just blindly going up to things and pressing buttons and hoping I don't break anything. All right, so those are the marker switch diagrams. So I know where the switches are. It seems like I need to do these in a certain order, and I don't know what order I'm supposed to do them in. Alright. It seems as though I have a lot of reading to do. Alright, this is likely going to suck this page into the book. So without the page, it doesn't do anything. If I click the page, it becomes something else. Who am I? Who am I?
You must help me. Bring me a red page. I can't see. I need a red page. You must. Please bring me. Beg of you, bring page. Help me. I am serious.
I am serious? Is that what you said? given up long ago.
There's one thing I need to be rescued.
What do you... What does he need? The red page. I got that. He needs the red page. And then over here we got blue pages. These are not interactable. And some heavy reading. Alright, so I have to find... Here's another place to go. Cozy. Is this an elevator, maybe? Okay. Do these like turn on? Pixel art. All right, so I need to find... Wait, no, I need to count. Let me count. I almost need a pen and paper. In fact, I might need a pen and paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 across and 6 down. I'm looking for some sort of diagram or something that would be 8 across and 6 down. Alright. Chat, if you see anything that looks like it might be helpful, please shout it out. Alright, I might go back and read these, but for now, I'm more interested in any drawings. A piano. Okay. A map. Alright, we've got a piano and a map in the blue book down there. Looks like a church. Some stairs. Power. Track. Okay. That I figured out. Okay. We're getting somewhere. All right. Are you telling me that I need to... There's... Okay. Here... A few of those look... Maybe it's because I was just flipping so fast. It looked like I was getting the same page over and over again. How far does this go? More than 200... Okay, I'm not going any farther. More than 250 of those. What do we got here? Submersible lamp. Lighthouse. Constellations. Okay. All right. All right, before we go into a ton of reading. Let's... Oh, it starts where I left off. And it doesn't appear that there's a way to flip any faster. So don't mind me while I flip back to page 1. Here's what I do know. If these game devs are not insane, which this was a popular game, so they can't be insane. They can't expect for their players to go... I accidentally clicked out. Their players to go one by one and go through this. So there must be a page reference with what diagram needs to be done. But what we're going to start with is page 1. I'm going to take a screenshot, put it on my second screen, and then we're going to see if it does anything when I put that in. All right, so I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm gonna go over here for a second. And pull that up. All right. So. Nope. Right there. We're gonna go here. And all right, we're gonna exit out of this. We're gonna go back to the fireplace. Whatever it is. If this was real life, even if this was VR, I think I might have a hard time with this because the claustrophobia is intense with me. All right. All right. Yes. 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 And yes. Is it press the button? I can't tell if anything happened. Is there something I was supposed to press after? All right. All right. So this guy needs red pages. Let's listen to this one more time.
Serious? Will. I see you. You must looking up. Can you help me? Bring me pages.
Bring him pages.
Forever and ever.
Forever something.
Pages.
Pages.
Have the blue pages.
The blue pages. He must have the blue pages. Alright, so that's what I thought. We've got this guy asking for red pages, that guy asking for blue pages. We've got a map here with some sort of device that points to different areas of interest, it seems. Interesting. The place that it was pointing to before is no longer clicking. This place is clicking though. And down there is clicking. As my 2-year-old daughter would say, sound. Okay. All right. Let me get rid of my screenshot here. And let's go back. Let's go see if something changed. Was that just that closing? I think it was. I wonder if this fountain and the fountain over there have anything to do with each other. Don't know. That still does nothing. That doesn't seem to do anything. That, okay. Let's go back in and see if this map thing still clicks on that with that switch down. No, it disappears. All right. We're on to something. And I'm convinced that sound means something changed. So we're gonna try turning everything to a position where it will click on it and see if that does anything. So if I now go over here, it does click on it. All right, so that's set. That's set. All right, let's go over by the water. Change this bad boy. Okay. And while we're here, I think this one wasn't clicking too, so change that bad boy. All right, let's see if we get 2 more clicks. So we have that one over there. We've got the one right there. I thought that other one was right about there. Because all right. All right, so this is like adjacent. Wait. Putting something together here. Constellations. Okay. So that chooses the month, the day, time, and year. And then that's where you look at constellations, I guess. You try to put the constellation in the thing. All right. Let me change that switch and that switch. we didn't try going in here. It's like a 3-digit number. That thing. That's not interactable. The tree. So this seems to have something to do with the tree that goes to the center of the earth or whatever. Alright. And that's the tree. Alright, I'm 99% sure we've explored everything. It looks like there's a switch over here. So my guess is if I get the right input here, make the clock turn to the correct time, then a walkway or something comes up. Power lines. Non-interactable. Interesting that you can come up here. Have not tried going around here to see if there's anything. Not that I see. No markings on the building. Those appear like there's a path. Hold on. Path down here. Can climb the ladder. Oh, because that place powers the ship. These don't appear to be interactable, nor do I see any markings on them. Another power line. Whew. Alright. One more thing I want to test before I start hardcore looking for... That's not interactable. That's all scratched up. Alright, let me go down here. Go in here. Sounds like it closes automatically. Was that green before? I don't recall. Let's bring this down to 40. Yellow. Okay. All right. Books. Oh. Oh, look. This is new. So these places of interest show up when you turn those switches on. It seems to me. All right. If I light up all of these, ostrich, Cross. Leaf. Arrow. Anchor. Beetle. Snake. Eye. All right, so these are all lit up. Only some of them get clicks. So that's not this building, but it's the tree itself. There's nothing to interact with on the tree. I'm starting to understand why my uncle so confidently said to me as like a 10-year-old, you can play this, but you're not going to enjoy it. Because if I was a 10-year-old playing this, if I gave this to my 9-year-old daughter, she would not be okay. Constellations and the symbols from that walkway. Okay. This appears to be is this the rocket stone ship age bird's eye view? All right. I think it's time to do some hardcore reading here. All right. Here we go. My hand's falling asleep. As I suspected, the ancient creature is a human, but he is old beyond his own reckoning, and seems almost insane. However, the tree dwellers almost revere him as a god. They're treating me now in the same fashion, which makes me feel very uncomfortable. It is almost impossible to understand this old man. His voice is feeble but wild. He has adopted much of the language of the tree dwellers. He himself told me he had not spoken our own tongue in ages. He attempted to explain to me the history of this place. The following is my best translation of what he has told me. Many years ago, the humans and tree dwellers lived together in this place, which was then a vast island. They interacted very little. The humans dwelt on the ground, and the tree dwellers lived high above the humans. Occasionally, the island was disturbed by mysterious rumblings which happened randomly, some sort of tectonic or volcanic action, I suspect. The sometimes slight, sometimes heavy tremors would only last a short time, then they would stop, allowing everything to return to normal. One day things changed, the rumblings began and grew quickly to unprecedented levels. Soon it became apparent that the entire island was sinking slowly into the ocean around them. Many of the humans died that day, but not before sacrificing themselves in order to stop the sinking of the island. The humans who lived through this catastrophe moved into the trees, where they gradually died out, maybe because they were unequipped for such an environment, but I'm not sure. This is the story the old man communicated to me. Although many details are very unclear in my mind, I am especially confused as to how the humans saved the island from completely sinking. In fact, I doubt the accuracy of that part of the story. The island must have stopped on its own. Yet the old man believes in the truth of the story as if he had been there, and the tree dwellers worship him, and apparently all humans as if they were the heroes or gods. The old man ended our conversation today with an event which I will never forget. He began gripping my hands tightly, murmuring something about rest and asleep, and then he said, "We had expected you to come sooner." These actions filled me with an immediate dread. With much effort, he stood to his feet. I tried to help, but he pushed me away with more force than I imagined his frail body contained. The tree dwellers quietly surrounded him with very solemn faces. They then kneeled before him. He walked to each and placed his hand upon their heads. All the while he murmured the words which I did not understand. Finally he turned to me and smiled. Then he closed his eyes, walked out the door and off the narrow path high in the trees. The tree dwellers were silent. They began a procession down the nearest rope ladder. As I was descending, I saw several of them pick up the body. He had fallen onto a lower level of the walkway and carry it away. He was laid down at the dead end of a short pier-like structure. With the use of some potion, one of the tree creatures lit the pier on fire, and I watched as the flames engulfed him. As this strange funeral proceeded, the waters around the pier changed to a dull green. This morning I awoke finding it hard to even believe the previous evening's events. The water is a dull green for as far as I can see now. For some reason, the water no longer shifts colors. As I wander throughout the pathways, the creatures watch me, curious to see what I will do next. They are constantly offering me strange objects of affection. I even found food outside the doorway to the room in which I had slept. This is a unique race of beings. I hope to learn their language so that I may learn more from them. I have lived on this world for 3 months off and on. The tree dwellers have shown great hospitality. I'm even beginning to learn bits of their language. I've decided to return home for an extended stay with my loving wife and my sons, and hopefully return with them. However, I'm sure Catherine will once again refuse. I think this age would be a wonderful experience for them all, and I at least look forward to how Surus and Akinar will react to its curious inhabitants. Catherine is staying behind as expected. My sons have returned with me, and they enjoy this age very much. They get along very well with the tree dwellers and are picking up their language surprisingly fast. I have no doubt that it will not be too long until they can speak with the tree dwellers much better than I myself. I am leaving tomorrow to check on Osmoian age. Surus has suggested I allow him and his brother to stay, though the idea unsettles me. I know the boys are growing rapidly. The hospitality of these creatures is such that I could think of no better place to leave them alone for a short while, so I will consent to their requests. Interesting. 2 boys. I warn the boys not to take advantage of the respect the tree dwellers have for their ideas. They seem to understand my warning, and I have faith they will follow it. Much to my dismay, upon leaving Everdunes, I learned that Pran and her people are continuing to be menaced by the Coctic. I fear for their survival and plan on returning to her shortly after checking on Surus and Akinar here. See Everdune's journal for more information. After watching Surus and Akinar, I see that they are handling things very well, and I think I can put to rest any fears of leaving them in Channelwood again, and for a little longer time. The tree dwellers seem slightly distressed that I'm leaving, but are happy that Surus and Akinar are staying behind. I've been gone for over 3 days and have been many different places. I had to tell Surus and Akinar about Pran's death today, and they were visibly shaken, although they only remembered her from their childhood. Catherine has suggested that it would be wise for Surus and Akinar to leave Channelwood for a while, and I have to agree. They will be returning with me when I leave again. I have told my sons that they will be returning with me in 2 days. They spent the entire night telling me of an adventure they experienced in my absence, and it was rather remarkable. It seems they constructed a boat with the creatures and traveled some ways out to the surrounding waters. I enjoy hearing them talk excitedly of their adventures, and am reminded of my own adventures as a child. I finally understand why the tree dwellers have been giving me their many inks and insisting I write with them. Looking through some of the past entries, I see now that the inks have changed from the black I thought they were to various different colors. I've shown some of the creatures my journal, and they laughed and howled. I did not know they had such a sense of humor. Even now, as I look through this very colorful journal, I cannot help but laugh myself. We will be returning tomorrow, so my sons are with the creatures for the last night here. They have told me they would like to come to Channelwood again, and also asked if they can visit some other ages alone. Though I will have to think over their request, I believe they have proven to me that they are trustworthy and responsible. Catherine will also have to help me decide whether they are ready to travel alone. For now, I must give farewell to the creatures, for I do not know how long it will be until I visit this age again. Alright, so a future bridge. Looks like the beginning of a windmill. A tree house. And that's the end of that book. Ooh. Alright, so that's called Channelwood. It sounds like a diary of some sort of time traveler. I think it's interesting that there were two boys here, and I have two books that are looking for red pages and blue pages. So maybe these boys are trapped in those books. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me get a glass of water. All right. This one's called Stone Ship Age. Stone Ship Age. This is the Selenticage. I don't know. All right. And what's on the covers? This is that windmill thing. This has a lighthouse. Emmett was the first to live on the rocks. He named them the rocks because it was what they were, a group of sharp rocks clustered together in the middle of a large sea. This was where Emmett lived. He enjoyed his life. Emmett would occasionally swim to nearby rocks, as it was never too far of a distance. One day, another person appeared on the rocks for no apparent reason to Emmett. Emmett named this new person Branch. Emmett and Branch quickly became friends, swimming and hunting for fish together often. Emmett showed Branch the simple cave in which he lived on the largest rock. Soon, Branch discovered a place where he decided to live, also on the same large rock. The sun always shone brightly in their world, and the water was always dazzlingly clear, allowing them to see almost to the deep ocean floor which surrounded them. Though the sun was shone, it was never too hot for the days. A light breeze always came from the north and cooled the area down. One day, while Branch was swimming and having fun in the water, he noticed another boy swimming. Branch thought brought the new boy to Emmett and to find out what to call the new boy. Emmett said the new boy should be called Will. Will was soon part of the group, and all three of the boys swam and enjoyed their perfect world. At least that is the story I was told when I arrived today on the island. Emmett, Branch, and Will were surprised to see me at first, but even before the night ended, we were all becoming good friends. Today, the second day on this newly created age, a strange thing happened. It was not strange to me, but the three boys did not understand what was happening. While I was relaxing under the tree on one of the smaller rock islands, it began to rain. It was a nice rain that lasted for about an hour in the morning. I explained to the boys that the rain was not harmful, yet they obviously still feared it. Before going to sleep tonight, I told the boys I would leave the following day. I told them that while I was gone, I would make a surprising change in their world. They didn't understand, not that I expected them to. I still do not fully understand what happened today. I was experimenting with the art, capitalized, testing the limits of the rules as dictated to me by Father, also capitalized. I attempted to create a boat by writing it into the world. Interesting. I thought everything was planned correctly, yet somehow the boat had become gripped by the rock and broken in half. Although this test did not turn out as I had hoped, I now have answers to a few of the questions my father never answered. As for the boat, I can see the boys enjoy it anyways, and with that I am pleased. They have played on it all day. Even though the boat cannot move, I have enjoyed studying from it. It is much sturdier a platform than the jagged rocks, and in the course of my observations, I have learned some very interesting things regarding the solar system of this age. Submersible lamp. The nights are absolutely beautiful here. I have made note of and named a number of constellations that pass above me. Also, during the night, I catch glimmers of light from the horizon, which I have not been able to discover if it is created by some natural phenomenon or by additional people on far-off islands or rocks. I should very much like to discover which. I rather suspect it is an additional people, which would explain the appearance of the branch of Branch and Will. The rain today was slightly heavier than usual. Just when the boys were getting used to the light rains, a small storm arrived. They were frightened of the heavier rain, not to mention of the thunder and lightning. If rain has never fallen here until recently, as the boys tell me, I would like to discover why it is falling now. Regardless, I have decided to return home for a short while. I have also been thinking of some plans for a lighthouse that I hope to construct soon. I think that perhaps by shining a bright light towards the horizon, it might prove my suspicions regarding additional inhabitants. Okay. They would be curious about the light and travel to discover its source if they have the means. I've returned with many tools that I will need for the construction of the lighthouse. I have decided that once the lighthouse is completed, I will leave for some time and let the world's own imagination have control. We've worked for 3 weeks on the lighthouse now and are making great progress. The rock that we are building on seems to not be as secure as I would like. I have had to alter my plans slightly, but those alterations pose no real problem. Obviously, the light goes at the top of the lighthouse. The boys are quite strong and have been helping me immensely. I estimate construction will be done within 2 days. The lighthouse is finished. We are proud of our creation. The boys are amazed at the structure wrought from the rock with their own hands. That evening we powered up the generator, much to the boys' dread at first, and shined a great light to the horizon for many hours. I stayed the night at the top of the lighthouse, and in the morning awoke to observe the sunrise without my being coated with the chilly blanket of the ocean and I had become accustomed to. It was Will who first saw the girl. She was swimming not far from the boat where Will was getting ready to hunt for fish. Then Will noticed a man not far away from the girl. Emmett was pleased to meet the additional neighbors. I feel pleased to leave this age. I have set in motion events that have nothing to do with the writing or the art, again capitalized, that will have a more profound impact on this world than I could have ever written. I think. What do you think? That is a period right there, right? Stone ship age, bird's eye view. That appears to be the ship, the lighthouse, the rocks. Maybe this is the generator. Oh, that's where the sentence starts. All right. I think of it, this age is a gift to myself. I will wrap up and open someday in the future, only to discover that it has changed so much that indeed it is a surprise. Besides, I have yet another age that awaits me. It seems I'm going to need some way to travel underwater in this new age, and so much planning is in order. It has been 10 years since I left this age, which I have since called the Stone Ship Age. Upon returning, I cannot believe the changes that have taken place. The original 3 boys have grown into adults, and there are many new faces that I do not recognize. Branch told me that it has not rained for 7 years, and the cool breezes are back again. They are all very content and have been serving me with new foods and showing me materials they have discovered. It even seems they have found gold somewhere. I see it in the many forms around the island. My lighthouse has been kept in perfect condition, and it looks as though they have tried their very best to keep it so. Yet, I have noticed that the entire rock it was built on has sunk approximately 40 to 50 centimeters. After a wonderful visit with my old friends, I wonder aloud with them what things will be like here in another 10 years. Alright, so then we have these constellations that, again, we discovered the shape of these constellations are mimicked, mirrored in that walkway. This is just a book of patterns. Nope, not done. 2 more books to go. It has been a while since I have heard only silence, and I enjoy it greatly. I think. For some reason, I do not feel altogether welcome in this new world to which I have arrived. But how could I be unwelcome in an age with no inhabitants? It is, of course, my only in my head. This world is very beautiful, but I think I have yet to ever write in a journal that an age I have linked to is horrid or disgusting. From the grassy hill where I am standing, I can see green fields below, along with a few scattered forests. A rather large lake looms some distance from where I am standing, yet the water's blue can be seen plainly from here. The air is fresh, and the sky is sparkled with white clouds. It is absolutely breathtaking, and yet, that strange feeling again. Perhaps it is the hot breeze that continues to blow from the north, hotter than I would have imagined. It almost singes my skin, and I feel quite uncomfortable when it comes. I will try to ignore it. Night has almost arrived, and the sunset is spectacular. Oranges and reds that have settled above the western horizon. Though night has come, the horizon still glows red long past the sunset. Dark reds flow from horizon and blend into the black sky. Again, the feeling. And I am beginning to believe it is not all in my mind. I must sleep now. I will need my strength to explore more tomorrow. I've had to return home due to an unpredictable natural occurrence more frightening than I have ever experienced. I was awakened by terrible shakings in the ground and explosions on all sides of me. Gigantic balls of fire were falling from the sky, and I immediately left in fear of my life. I must remember to bring a Myst linking book with me when I return, in case the one left there has been destroyed or damaged. That must be what he was talking about in the last book, in the stone ship, where he wrote it into being. I've returned to a different world than the one I left only 3 months ago. It has been transformed into a barren desert land, with only gigantic craters scattered across the land to provide variety. Strangely enough, the small grassy hill where I spent my first night remains exactly the way I found it. Apparently, the falling meteors did not hit this area, leaving an oasis in the midst of a horrible desolation. The hot wind, I remember, has turned into a rather pleasant breeze, which is at least one improvement. I fear it is the only improvement. The magnificent lake I saw on my first visit is now completely dried up. However, another lake now exists and appears to be quite a bit larger. I assume one of the falling meteors created this lake due to its circular shape and jutting rock that grows out of the center of the lake. The rest of this world seems like desert, although I will verify that statement with closer inspection. Though this world has little visual excitement to offer, it offers much to the ears. Sounds constantly flow through my ears, and I have found where a few of them originate. It seems, as Catherine says, I do find beauty in everything. Last night I was awakened by a horrible hissing. I was sweating, and the heat was so intense that I immediately dipped my head in a nearby stream to cool it down. The hot breezes had returned, along with a low roar from the ground. I walked a short distance to observe some flames, red flames shooting up from the earth. Suddenly the ground began to crack and a huge chasm opened. The chasm continued to grow until it was far too wide to cross. Then the tumult subsided, leaving only a dull roar. I've decided, however, I can use the chasm to my advantage. Perhaps the heat from the chasm can be harnessed. So he's building some sort of generator from the radiant heat from the chasm. Even as the chasm has ripped into the surface of this world, it has opened up a whole new world to explore. Although uncomfortably hot, I found it possible to reach a cave in the chasm that has been created, and have now explored deep into the crust of this planet. I have found a vast underground cave system that will take many years to map and explore. I will also look for a safer way to reach the underground than through the chasm wall. This age seems to change on its own, so I feel I should leave again and see if things are different when I return. It is also important that I check on Cirrus and Akinar and make sure everything is going along well. When I return, I also hope to bring back some tools I will need for my plans to explore the underground. The abundance of raw materials here is beginning to amaze me. I have returned with some of the complex tools I knew I would be needing. I assumed I would have to return for some more basic materials. However, it seems as though I will be able to find everything I need here. Of course, iron is abundant, but I also have found titanium occurring naturally. I am all the more excited to begin the work. Everything is set, and I look forward to tomorrow. My raw materials are all here. I think I will be able to have most of my additions to this age completed within 1 year. I so love working with my hands, whether writing or building. I began today on the, looks like it says bridge, and it fades into nothing. Well, I've decided we have a compass pointed slightly northeast. 3 meters is not enough to support the beams, although we have a satellite dish. Amazingly strong. We have the ship, viewing dome, a hatch, stabilizer, and an intake. One of my most prized possessions. I am could never have imagined it to come together quite as I doubt. Could possibly work with 14 instead of 8. Completely fatigued. I am so happy to have complete tomorrow. I'm leaving today in order to bring back Cirrus and Akinar. I've left them alone in Channelwood. I believe they will enjoy all there is to see here. The age seems to have stabilized. I believe the meteors set off a period of volcanic activity by piercing into the shallow crust, but the tremors have become few. I've just noticed that a large amount of this journal has curiously vanished from the pages on which I wrote over the last 18 months. Fortunately, I've copied many of my construction notes on another journal. I do not understand the many mysteries of this world, but I trust I will discover logical answers to my questions. I have a feeling that many of my questions can be answered in another age, to which I hope to travel soon. But for now, I must simply accept this world's mysteries and take my pride in my accomplishments. All right, we have a piano with a little tune, including an order in which to play the keys. We have not come across a piano yet. And a map. All right. Almost there. All right, we look through here. Hey, if you've joined me for this, you're the real ones listening to me drone on in these books. But I still have hope. I have not seen anything in these 3 books that give me any indication of what I'm supposed to be doing. It is a good story, isn't it? I am very intrigued. Hey, I'm just reading what's on the page, but thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I don't know if you were here for the beginning. I was saying that I played this a long time ago, and it really confused the crap out of me. And so, trying to figure it out now that I have a few more brain cells. All right, last book with words. Here we go. Before arriving in this age, I was determined that it would be a journey to a world very different from my previous adventures, and it was. The sky here is dark and gray and incessantly displays flashes of lightning in the distance. I met a very old man with a long beard and hair that hangs to his waist. He is very feeble and has trouble even moving. This man obviously has been through very many things in this strange world, and I have learned many things from him. Oh, well, thanks for joining me, Turning Cog. I appreciate it. He has told me an interesting story of this world's history. Years ago, he told me there was a beautiful city that rose up out of the water. It housed many people inside its walls, and the people had everything they wished for. The city was surrounded by three high hills, which rose higher than the city. On each hill of the city rested a large lookout post. The people of the city had constructed the post expecting visitors to arrive from the east. People had no means of traveling on the water, which forced them to merely wait for a friend or foe. As time passed, friendly visitors brought rumors of an enemy that existed beyond the horizon. All people grew fearful, yet nothing happened. One day, the usually sunny sky became dark as night, and black ships appeared on the horizon. The lookout posts' attempts at peace were turned away, and the sentries there were easily overwhelmed. The ships continued to wreak havoc on the city, apparently destroying everyone and everything. After the foundations of the city were destroyed, the city sunk deep into the ocean, and only the lookout post remained. The black ships sailed away. The man continued to say that 8 people had hidden and managed to survive through the attack. In the 9 years since the attack, 2 of the survivors had died. He also said that it was rumored that 10 years from the attack, the enemy would return to finish the destruction they had started so long ago. I have decided, since hearing that man's story, it would be admirable to save the civilization and stop the enemy's plans of destruction. I am excited about the adventure that awaits me, and an idea has sparked in my mind to provide the needed defense for these people. I met the remaining survivors today and have begun work on a plan for protection. After a short absence, I have returned to this age with my 2 sons. They have, as of yet, traveled rarely with me, and they are understandably excited to be here. They have grown considerably since Everdunes, and it is already obvious to me that they will be great help this time, instead of the nuisance they have been in the past. I don't know what that's like. My children are always helpful. All 3 of us, along with 4 of the healthier survivors, began construction today. We are building upon the old city's ruins, which will provide a perfect foundation for our fortress. My sons have been spending much of their spare time on the South Island, where most of my materials are stored. I am very pleased with their intelligence, and their creativity is refreshing to see as they work on some small projects of their own. It has been over 4 months now, and construction is going well. My sons love the work, except for its gray sky. They detest the gray sky and tell me many times they wish the sky here were like the blue sky in Myst. The old man I first talked to tells me that the enemy is due in 4 months. I feel we will be ready when the time comes. The man reminds me of Emmett in many ways. I often wonder how Emmett and his people are doing. It has been 6 months of work, and we have finally finished the fortress. It rests between the 3 hills, which are now only islands due to a rising water level that the people experienced after the attack. Inside the fortress, I have designed the most intriguing device. It makes use of technology called holography. I began experimenting with on my visits to Aspermere. It will be working in a couple of days after I compensate for some small miscalculations. This holographic device will enable the survivors to learn to use the fortress. Right, so we got a power line, track slopes. The enemy is due to come soon, and I trust the fortress will provide sufficient protection for all of us. All right, so it looks like we have a fortress here, a track. I guess from these gears, I would assume that this whole thing rotates. Gears over here. We've seen gears before outside. The black ships have come. Their attack was substantial. The weapons have been stopped, and it appears they've turned away in defeat. I could not help but smile as I watched their boats leave. Insignia of the black ship. All right. Last night we had a small celebration, and the old survivors danced their dances of old. My sons did not understand why the sky had not turned back to its original blue. The old man told them that the storms would never end until the enemy was destroyed. I assured my sons that the blue sky was not worth the risk of death, and they seemed to hear me. I have had a healthy adventure and have begun work on a new book. Once again, I must leave a familiar age in search of a new universe I had begun. But first, I will have extended time with Catherine, whom I miss very much. I must also return to the people of the Tide. I believe in my travels I have found a substance that will ease the pain of their bone ailments that they have long endured. I hope to return to mechanical age one day and find the population growing in my fortress still strong, though the Sky Man will always be black. Sky Man, this is the Sky Man. The sky may always be black. I don't know why I read that as man. I am confident the people here feel heavier darkness has been lifted from their shoulders. Well, that's all the books. I don't know why, but I was expecting more clues in the books. So now, I had not noticed that before. We've found something new. Okay. It's like an elevator. Library. Safety first. Tower. Seven, 2, 4 key. 724. 724 key. Library. A view hole that points in a direction. I think I know what this is. Close. Will this just go back down? Yes. Okay. All right. So, go over here. Click this. We turn this to this guy. We listen to the sound. We go back. We go up the elevator. We close the door for safety. Press the button. We're now in the tower. The numbers are different. 240, 221. Interesting. And if I am not mistaken, this should now be looking over the cogs. Yes. We're figuring stuff out. We're figuring it out. All right. So, we know for sure 240, 221. Close the door for safety. We're going downstairs. Alright, we're going back to the library. We've already read all the books. Don't need to read those anymore. I'm gonna double check. I don't see any markings around here. Alright. So then if I press this, puts that up, and then rotates the whole thing, or doesn't rotate. I thought the whole thing was rotating. To let me go out here. Alright, and we were looking at the cogs. So is there anything different about these cogs now that I pointed the whole thing towards it? Not that I see. If I turn this off, I don't hear anything. For now, we'll keep it on. Alright. Now, the numbers. The numbers. It was 240, 221. Where can we put a time and 3 numbers in? So we don't have a date. I could... Alright, well, I mean, why not, right? Two 40 is 02 21. Done. Turn the lights off. Doesn't look like anything to me. Then again, we only had those. We didn't have a date. Was there another place we could put in? I want to double check the numbers and make sure that I remember correctly. Chat, do you remember? 240, 221, 0221 seems like what I was thinking. $240. It's not 0221. It's just 2, 2, 1. 240 looks like a time, though. We do know where a clock is. So let's go see if we can put 240 into the clock and see if that does anything. That doesn't tell us what to do with the 2, 2, 1, though. These are all still on. Nothing's changed over here. Alright, let's see here. We've got minute hand. We're going to 40. And the hour hand, we're bringing that back to 2. Press the button. If that isn't progress, I don't know what is. Right. What do we have in here? We have a lot of gears. Hello. All right, are those the only 3 levers? All right. So, all right. We need to get this to the point where it's saying 2, 2, 1. If I pull this, it moves the bottom. Hold it. Moves the bottom 2. Pull this. Moves the top 2. Pull this. Sets it back to 3, 3, 3. Pull this. Bottom 2, 1. Bottom 2, 2. So that's the correct number. One, 3, 2. 2, 1, 2. Two, 2, 3. What does this do? Does it reset it? Resets it. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right. All right, it appears that we only have 3 numbers here. It's only 1, 2s, and 1s, 2s, and 3s. 2, 3, 1. 2, 1, 2. 2, 2, 3. I can only move that so many times. Can only move that so many times. So then I have to pull this and reset. Okay. All right. Let's get the 2 and the 1 on the bottom. Nope, did it wrong. All right, we have the 2 and the 1 here. So if I move this... Oh. I don't think this is going to get me where I want to go. Two, 1, 2. 2, 2. We're going for 2, 2, 1 here. And now we've reset it. I'm open to suggestions. All right. 1, 2, 1. It always moves them to the left. So let's get 2 on the top. Two, 2, 3. There it is. On the right side. 2, 2, 1. But there's no way that that's good enough. And we're stuck. There is some combination here. Some combination that gets all of these in. I'm out of frame. I'm sorry. There we go. There's some combination that gets all of these together. Right? Yes, it is very tricky. All right. All right. All right. All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go here. All right. Gonna do that. Now you should be able to see my mouse. And we're gonna open up a notepad. I knew at some point I was gonna end up writing something down. I just thought that it was going to be on real paper, but that's no fun. Let's find a notepad. All right. Now, here's what I want to do. I want to find out the order these go in. All right. On the top, we got 3. Nope, turn the wrong one. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. All right, it appears to be repeating. Did you see that? I do believe I just figured something out that I would have been good to know just a minute ago. If I pull this and I hold it, it moves the top one, but continues to move the middle one. I also saw that if we pay attention to where this weight is, we can get an idea of how many turns it has left. All right, now if I pull this and I continue to hold it, nothing. Okay. The big question here is, collectively, are our brains big enough to make this work? If you don't remember, we're trying to get 2, 2, 1. That's what we're going for. If we pull this, it moves the bottom 2. That's all it does. If I pull this, it moves the top 2. And if I pull this and hold it, it moves the middle one as many times as I want until the weight down here reaches the ground. So, we have 1 right here. If I get a 2 right here, okay. We've been here before. That will move the 2, 2 over here. All right, I think I know what I have to do. No, no, no. No, no, no. Go back. Go back. All right, I think I know what I'm doing. I want a 2 and a 1 right here. 2, 1. All right. We pull this one more time. 2, 1. Pull this. Can opener. We got music. We've got the right notes, right numbers. Now, what do we have going on? Has anything changed? Now, the place we expect things to change is the gears. This area right here. If you recall, the reason we expect the gears to change is because we've pointed the whole observatory, the whole tower, towards it, and that's what gave us the numbers up at the top of the tower. So we're going over to the gears now. And are we... Hello. Oh, no, I wanted to watch it. I was hoping it would pull it up to my face. What are we seeing here? It appears to just be cycling this image. If I had to guess, if you were here during the book readings a while ago, this is the fortress that the dude made. We have a gear on the book. I think that's the fortress that that our time traveler made. And put together. Let's see here. Gear. This is what we were just looking at. The map of the thing. Stairs that go down. Hey, thanks for joining me, Incomprehensible Alpaca. Incomprehensible Alpaca. All right. So what do we do now? That's the question. None of these are gears. All right, we're gonna look and see if anything else has changed around the island. Don't really expect anything to change. Three numbers. Two. 2, 1. Nothing. Okay. Go look at the generator. I don't have any more clues as to what to do there. This is all the same. Okay. All the same. All right, so everything is the same except for at the gears. We saw a picture in that book. We have two light bulbs facing each other. Got a platform that looks like it turns. Got music that sounds important. And we've got a picture of the fortress that the dude made to fend off the attackers. And it's just a looping image of that along with the gears. Does anything happen now that I've done this? I hit the button. Are these lights the same color? Did they turn off? I can't tell. Maybe try and touch the picture. Hey, what would I do without you, alpaca?